This guide will walk you through installing the Mapbox Maps SDK for iOS, configuring your project to use the SDK, and initializing a map in your iOS application. However, before we start, let's cover the 3 prerequisites required for this tutorial. 1. The related written guide gets started with Maps SDK for iOS, linked in the description below. 2. A free account with Mapbox, and 3. Xcode. Now, let's get started with part 1. Create and configure your credentials. You will need to use the default public token linked with your account to gain access to Mapbox services. You will add this token to your info plist by following these steps. First, grab your token by logging into your account and going to your tokens page at console.mapbox.com/access-tokens. At the top of your token list, you will see your default public access token, which you can copy with the copy button. Now that you have your token, let's open up Xcode and open a project or create a new project. If you're creating a new project, we recommend using the app project type. Next, once your project opens, navigate to your project's info plist by double-clicking the project title in the top left corner, then selecting info in the middle of the screen. Now hover over any key in the info plist and click the plus button to create a new key. In the key field, type MBX access token. Now hit tab and select the value field and paste in your default public access token. Now your public access token is available for use in your iOS project, and you'll be able to access features in the Mapbox Maps SDK once it's installed. So to install the SDK, move to part 2, add the dependency. Mapbox allows you to access the Maps SDK in 3 ways: the Swift Package Manager, CocoaPods, or direct download. We recommend using the Swift Package Manager, and we'll demonstrate how to use it in this tutorial. First, in your Xcode project, go to File, Add Package Dependencies. Next, copy the GitHub URL from part 2, step 2 of the written guide into the search bar in the top right corner of Xcode. Now select the dependency rule you want to apply to the Maps SDK. We recommend selecting up to the next major version for the dependency rule and specifying the SDK version as seen in part 2, step 3 of the written guide for the minimum version. This method allows you to select the most recently released stable version of the SDK. Once the version is selected, hit enter or click Add Package. In the new window that appears, click the drop-down under Add to Target, select your project target, and then click Add Package. Once the SDK finishes installing, make sure you see these 4 new dependencies on the left side of the editor under Package Dependencies. Once you see the packages, make sure they're linked in your target properly by clicking on your target's project, scrolling down to Frameworks, Libraries, and Embedded Content, and checking that Mapbox Maps is included. If the library is not added, click the plus button, and then from the list that appears, select Mapbox Maps and click Add. Once the library is linked, you can start using Mapbox in your project by adding Import Mapbox Maps to the top of any of your files. So now let's move on to part 3, Add a Map. You can now add a map to your application by either using UIKit or Swift UI. For this video, we'll use Swift UI. Start by clicking on the file Content View. Then copy the code snippet from part 3, step 3 of the written guide and add it to the file and save your work. This code adds a Swift UI map to your application while initializing a viewport based on a specified center coordinates and a zoom level. You can modify the center and zoom level as well as other features like pitch and bearing to show any area of the world you're interested in. You may see the error No Such Module Mapbox Maps. If that's the case, go to File, Packages, Resolve Package Versions, and this will typically resolve the issue. Now, if you press play, Xcode will take a few minutes to spin up the emulator, and then you will be able to see your map appear. You'll be able to click on the map, move the globe around, zoom in, etc. If you don't see the map or run into errors while compiling, here are a few common troubleshooting solutions to fix these issues. First, if you see the No Such Module Maps error, try the following 2 solutions. 1. Make sure the Mapbox Maps package is linked to your project. To do this, go to Project Target and scroll down to Frameworks, Libraries, and Embedded Content. If Mapbox Maps is not included in the list, click the plus button to add the library. Once the package is added, go to File, Packages, Resolve Package Versions to make sure the package has been synced. Second solution, remove and add the Mapbox package. To do this, click on your project and go to Package Dependencies, then select the Mapbox Maps package and click the minus button to remove it. Then re-add the Mapbox Maps package as seen in part 2, add the dependency. If your library is accessible but you cannot run the map in your simulator, try the following. Make sure the token is added to the info plist, is a valid token, and note that MBX access token is case sensitive, so it should match the tutorial exactly. Also, check that build platform is assigned to a specific iOS device, such as iPhone 16. If you see My Mac or any iOS device, this may cause issues when trying to run the simulator. If these solutions don't work, you can also view the troubleshooting guide in the description below for more solutions. Now that you have a map rendering in your app, you are ready to start customizing the map for your needs. We recommend exploring the Maps SDK documentation and the iOS examples app to learn more about adding things like interactivity or adding custom map data to your app. Thanks for watching, and see our other tutorials for more Mapbox content.